This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
nhlibertyessay.com.
This is Alex, a high school student from Nashua, New Hampshire. He's a member of Young Americans for Liberty and is spreading the word about it at this New Hampshire Tea Party rally in April April 09.
Anyway, Alex has an interesting story to tell me about something that happened to him at Nashua High School. Tell me.
Okay, well, back a few months ago in the cafeteria we had a huge sophomore class meeting, and our class president finished talking, so there was a microphone right in front of hundreds of kids. So I figured, why is it going to waste up there? That's taxpayers' money. I mean, we can't waste tax money. That's poor, So I figure, sneak up there, I grab the microphone, and I start giving like crazy rant, conspiracy theory, and I start talking, warning the kids about the brainwashing going on in public schools, which are really government schools. And I tried quoting John Dewey, who is main leader in establishing public schooling in America. And I was just trying to show that he was against individualism, and I was trying to read off a quote, like halfway through, they grabbed the microphone from me, and they grabbed my school ID and took my name down. Basically, a couple days later, my headmaster called me down, and he said, "Why'd you do this?" And I said, "Well, someone else had to warn the kids about the socialism and the indoctrination." He said, "Well, you can't speak freely in schools because that offends people." And I said, "Well, we would not have any sort of development in society if we had no free speech, if we had none of that, because people would just be burned at the stake if we came up with anything different." And he just kept reiterating the point that I had no free speech. So he just gave me simple detention and said, "Next time something happens, the hammer will come down harder." Just complete. He told me to my face, I have no right to speak freely in school, but yet these schools are funded by taxes, so therefore they should be held up to the law of the Constitution. And I also plan on making more speeches. I'm not going to let that stop me.
So you guys, are you planning on just continuing to up the activism in Nashua High School, or? Yeah.
We plan on heating it up.
What's been the most effective thing? Was that it? The most effective thing?
That really was most effective. I got a huge standing ovation, and kids were like, "Hey, what were you saying earlier?" Because they cut me off, and I started talking about it, and then I recommended reading John Taylor Gatto's books, and it's been catching on.
And you were able to put out, 5 people from Nashua High today at this event, is that right?
6.
6? Yeah. That's great. That's a pretty good turnout. I mean, I can't get 6 people that show up at everything I do, so.
We had 25, but it's testing period and all that stuff. So.
Yeah.
And lit drops have been helping a lot. They actually talked about banning words at our school, so we wrote a tolerance declaration declaring that written words should be banned because it offends blind people, spoken words should be banned because they offend deaf people, and we just went on through a whole list of words that should be banned. It was satire. That went over really well. We dropped it off at the principal's office, then they stopped talking about banning words. So
good for you.
I think we defeated some tyranny right there with the art of satire.
All right, thanks, Alex.
You're welcome.
nhlibertyessay.com. This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
nhlibertyessay.com. If you believe in liberty and are good at writing about it, then enter the NH Liberty Essay Contest. You could earn up to $200 in prizes, and you could crush the other students. nhlibertyessay.com.